Right now, more than 5 billion people are on social media. Almost all of them lead with the same thing: a face, their own, cropped, lit, chosen out of 40 attempts. But a small group refuses. A gray silhouette, a cartoon, a photo of a mountain, a cat, a coffee cup. And here is the strange part. That one empty square makes people uncomfortable in a way almost nothing else online does. We trust a stranger's face instantly. We distrust a stranger's absence. We invent stories about it. He is hiding something. She is insecure. That account is fake. But the research says something far more interesting is going on. So what is actually happening in the mind of someone who will not show you their face? Welcome back to Apex. Today we open one of the quietest decisions people make online, and what it reveals about all of us. To understand it, we first have to break a default belief that almost everyone holds. The belief is simple. People hide their face because they are ashamed of it, or shy, or have something to conceal. It feels obvious, but it falls apart the moment you look closely. Many faceless accounts are the most open ones on the platform. They post long, raw, revealing writing about their divorces, their debts, their fears. Someone who is hiding does not do that. Meanwhile, some of the most polished, face-forward profiles you follow belong to people who report the highest anxiety about how they look. Shame does not predict who posts a face. And if the goal were concealment, why leave a real name, a real job title, a real city, and remove only the picture? That is not hiding. That is selection. This is a choice, not a retreat. To see it, we have to start with what a face actually does to a human brain. Your brain has dedicated hardware for faces. A region in the temporal lobe, the fusiform face area, activates far more strongly for faces than for almost anything else you look at. Newborn infants turn toward face-like patterns within days of birth. This is why you see faces in electrical sockets, in car grills, in clouds. The system is so aggressive it fires on things that are not there. Now think about what happens when it finds nothing. You open a profile. The slot where a face should be is empty. Your brain does not shrug. It flags a gap and fills it with caution, because for most of human history, a person who would not show themselves was a threat. That is where the discomfort comes from. Studies on online trust consistently find that profiles with a clear personal photo are rated as more credible and more likable than identical profiles without one. Here is what that actually means. Your instinct that a blank profile feels like a bot or a creep is not intuition. It is a missing data slot, and your brain guessing badly. So why would anyone accept that cost? Because of a problem the faceless person understands better than you do. Online, every audience you have ever had is standing in the same room. Your boss, your mother, your ex, strangers, recruiters. Researchers call it context collapse. In real life, you show a different version of yourself to each group, and it works because they never meet. Online, they are not separated at all. And here is the key. Every other detail about you can be adjusted for the audience. Your bio, your posts, your name. Your face cannot. A face is the one piece of data that links every version of you together, permanently. It can be screenshotted, reverse searched, matched by facial recognition, scraped into a dataset you will never be told about. One clear photo can be enough for a stranger to find your workplace, your neighborhood, and your family. Once it is out, it is out. So the decision to withhold it is often not fear, it is arithmetic. Researchers call this the privacy calculus, weighing what you gain from disclosure against what it may cost you later. But there is a second reason, and it is quieter. Photo-driven platforms create a scoreboard nobody agreed to join. Post a face, and it gets ranked, compared, and measured against every other face in the feed. Psychologists call the gap between how you look and how you think you should look self-discrepancy. And appearance-driven feeds widen it every time you scroll. Some people do not opt out because they lost that game. They opt out because they refuse to play it. Remove the photo, and your words have to carry you. Now, the honest part. There is a darker version of the same freedom. Psychologist John Suler described the online disinhibition effect, where invisibility loosens the restraints people normally carry. It cuts both ways. It lets a frightened person finally speak. It also lets a cruel one attack without consequence. The empty avatar is a tool, not a personality. It amplifies whatever is already there. Now here is the part almost nobody considers. Why does a missing face feel like such a violation in the first place? Look at history, and the whole thing inverts. For almost all of human existence, having your face copied and circulated was extraordinarily rare. Kings on coins, saints in paintings, aristocrats in commissioned portraits. Ordinary people lived and died with no visual record at all. Then in the 1880s, a French police officer named Alphonse Bertillon standardized the mugshot, turning the photographed face into a system of identification. Photographs became standard in passports around the First World War and were internationally standardized in the 1920s. Think about what that means. For centuries, the only people whose faces were catalogued were the powerful and the accused. Everyone else was, by default, faceless. The idea that an average person owes the public a photograph is roughly 20 years old. It arrived with cheap cameras and platforms that needed your face to work. Your instinct toward visual privacy is not a glitch. It is the older setting. The technology moved. Our instincts did not. Which brings us to the deepest layer. Psychologists Caitlin McKenna and John Bargh found that many people feel their real self surfaces more easily when their identity is not attached to it. Take away the face, and you take away the performance. The pressure to look consistent, attractive, employable, likable, all of it drops. What is left is what the person actually thinks. For some, that is the only place their honest voice exists. So in the end, what is a person hiding when they hide their face? Usually nothing. They are not removing information. They are deciding which information counts. And this leads to an uncomfortable thought. We treat the posted photo as the truth, and the empty square as the concealment. But the photo was chosen too. It was cropped, filtered, approved, and shown to you on purpose. Both people are curating. One curates by adding, one curates by subtracting. The difference is that only one of them is honest about it. Every profile you scroll past tonight is a decision about how much of a person you are allowed to see. The blank ones are just the decisions you can notice. That's it for today's episode from Apex. Now we want to hear from you. Is there a photo on your profile? And be honest, have you ever quietly judged someone because theirs was empty? Tell us in the comments. If this made you think, leave a like, hit subscribe, and switch on notifications so the next deep dive into human psychology finds you first. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.